Someone very kindly sent me a Christmas card carrying 3 words: goodness, gratitude, grace. What more could anyone ask? What better words to express the best of Christmas? Those 3 words stand out on the vast human terrain, like those great rocky protuberances known as the 3 Sisters in Australia's Blue Mountains. For thousands and thousands of years, they have stood there, those 3 sisters, towering 900 metres high above the cliffs of the Jamison Valley. 3 sisters. They could well remind us of 3 essentials of human life: goodness, gratitude, and grace. But where is the 4th sister? Why is she excluded? Or is she hidden behind the other 3 and we can't see her? The 4th sister. Or maybe she is the sister that got neglected, ignored, overshadowed by the other 3 in all their magnificent colours. She is not seen, lost. This last week, some of us travelled to Lilydale for the funeral of Dr. Graham Corbett. The crematorium is built on a rise that allows us to look out over those distant plains stretching far before us. The sun poured its heat all around us, even as we stood in the shade of the trees. And although we were there on a sad and serious business, the trees carried an awareness of a different world. For gathered in the branches of those trees were families of magpies, all of them excitedly talking with each other in such abandon, or maybe in purposeful engagement, or surely to remind us that life comes with many gifts, but we must be aware of its many losses. The magpies were saying, your life is no different from ours. We have it for a time, then it is taken from us. But in the meantime, do not harden your hearts. There is a great gulf between people who harden their hearts and people who found a way to soften their hearts. And surely there is the very core message for Christmas morning. Let there be softening of your hearts. Let this be the core of your very spiritual life, your spirituality. It says, rise above the fallacy that hard hearts are strong hearts. Hear the words of the heart specialists around the world who tell us that the best hearts are soft hearts. Hard hearts are closed hearts, angry hearts, fearful hearts. Soft hearts are open hearts, compassionate hearts, confident hearts. We can easily miss that essential experience of Christmas, the softening of all hearts. Beloved, we're always in the wrong, handling so clumsily our stupid lives, suffering too little or too long, too careful even in our selfish loves. The decorative manias we obey die in grimaces round us every day. Yet through their tohu-bohu, through all the chaos and demands of life, there comes a voice which utters an absurd command. Rejoice. They are the words of W.H. Auden, the poet. They reflect well the theme of the Epistle to the Hebrews, one line of which I read today, reminding us of the essential theme of Christmas. Today, if you are in touch with the good spirit of life, the spirit of goodness, gratitude, and grace, today, if you hear that voice, the voice of the spirit of Christmas, do not harden your hearts. Here is one of life's miracles, in fact. Hard hearts can be softened. Angry hearts can be soothed. Broken hearts can heal. Closed hearts can be opened. Your Bible says so. The cardiologists say so. The psychoanalysts say so. Do not harden your hearts. Healthy hearts come alive to life's softness. Of course, we all know the seductions of strong words, of harsh actions that would convince us that this is the way to a strong and healthy heart. All those strong words. Dr. Dean Ornish, the American cardiologist, wrote the book I've mentioned many times, Love and Survival, the scientific basis for the healing power of intimacy, the softening of hearts. Here are some of the things he says, the cardiologist of world renown. He says this about our hearts. Hard hearts are closed hearts. Angry hearts are closed hearts. You take your heart with you wherever you go. It affects you. It affects everything. Hard hearts lose their spiritual essence that connects us. The more you are connected, he says, the healthier you'll be. Hard hearts are lonely hearts. On the other hand, he says, soft hearts carry compassion, forgiveness, redemption. Soft hearts are likely to be open hearts. Anger closes the heart. Compassion is the doorway to an open heart. He says, surround yourself with people who have also decided that they would want to make an open heart their path and their priority. We know that some hearts freeze over. They become hard hearts, frozen hearts. Hard hearts rarely win lasting friendships. Hard hearts are often loaded with anxiety, with fear, with negative emotions. Hard hearts actually avoid softness, frightened of softness, resist soothing. Hard hearts lose their spiritual core, the spiritual core of a person's life. Hard hearts constrict the flow of blood, constrict the flow of life, constrict the flow of goodness, constrict the flow of good energy. The softened heart is open to healing, is open to listening, is open to compassion, is open to strength from within. The softened heart is open to creative imagination. The softened heart is open to enriching friendships. The softened heart is open to goodness, gratitude, and grace. The softened heart is open to the good emotions. The 9 good emotions. What are the 9 good emotions? Love, joy, happiness, caring, pleasure, trust, gratitude, contentment, wonder. The 9 good emotions we want to be part of. although there are many persuasions that a hard heart is a strong heart, through it all, we come to see that a soft heart is a good heart. You don't want to keep, says Dr. Ornish, you don't want to keep your heart open to somebody who's going to hurt you. So an open heart needs also to be a careful heart, a careful heart, a caring heart for itself, looking after itself as well as what it does and derives from other people. Some years ago, I wrote this book. Some hearts break. All hearts need some healing. Healing can't come to a closed and hardened heart. Healing comes when hearts start to be open to the healing. Dr. Ornish again said the real epidemic in our culture is not only physical heart disease, but also what I call, he said, the emotional and spiritual heart disease. That is to say, those profound feelings of loneliness, isolation, and alienation, depression that are so prevalent in our culture. The loss of that real connection, he said, that there's so important part of us, but it can so easily be pushed out by cynicism, by resentment, by jealousy, and violence. If we want an open heart, if we'll open our heart, he says the energy simply flows in, and we are nourished by it. It flows in. And not only that, but it also flows out. Flows in, flows out. So the three sisters speak to us of goodness, gratitude, and grace. Flows in, flows out. We know the fourth sister is not part of that huge belching convulsion up there in the Blue Mountains. But we do know that the fourth sister can easily become our hardened heart. Turn your hearts to stone, said the woman in the play, and then you will not feel the pain that is part of life. The great story of Christmas is not limited to that historic moment, wherever that historic moment was and however it took place. But the real and great story of Christmas comes alive when we see what Christmas is pointing to. The three sisters, who in my imagination carry the deepest expression of what Christmas can be for every one of us. And their name is goodness, gratitude, and grace. And when you hear their names, do not harden your hearts. But the fourth sister, concealed, avoidant, resistant, repressed, so often disregarded, so often discounted as unimportant. What is her name? Today she stands not on the rock face of the Blue Mountains, but if she stands anywhere, she looks to stand amongst us. Get to know her name. What is her name? She says, my name is generosity. May every hard heart be open to my name. Our softened hearts will be generous hearts. Our softened hearts will become our strength. Our softened hearts will save us, ultimately. No wonder we keep the fourth sister concealed. No wonder we push her aside. Because whenever her name is mentioned, a kind of claim is laid upon us. We become cautious and calculating, and we clam up because the fourth sister might request something of us, might require something of us. What is my name, she says. My name is generosity. If our hearts are open, her demands become part of our healing and wholeness. Today, we can be open to one of life's greatest possibilities. Do not harden your hearts. Be open to the healing of your hearts. The three sisters stand out there on that distant horizon in the Blue Mountains. But the fourth sister can move amongst us. Know her name. Do you know her name? When you hear her name, or when you see her come amongst you, do not harden your hearts. Would you please stand? So with those words, I wish you all a good Christmas. A good Christmas. A lot of softness, goodness, gratitude, and grace. And generosity, the fourth sister. May the God you see in all the colours of creation arouse in you a sense of awe and wonder. May the God who is a sacred presence be real to you. May the God who is a source of inspiration and courage keep calling you forwards. May your God go with you and bless you today and always.